Hello and welcome to the Hollow Knight story discussion, or just overall gush about the story. The story is very much like a fairy tale. You know the one you've heard your entire life. It's about the bug kingdom that was ruled by a bug king, needs to be saved by the bug prince, and the bug prince here needs to go and clear some of the
mistakes left in the kingdom.
Everyone knows this story. Until Little Prince learns about the fall of Hollow Nest, and how it was meant to be the final kingdom. For all we know, it could very well be the final kingdom, but Hollow Nest ultimately fell when the air became too sick and bugs went mad. Now adventurers just go down trying to find some of the treasures and secrets. Little Prince learns that the kingdom was actually quite beautiful when it was bustling and alive and thriving. It had such an amazing quality to it, seeing all the bugs move about. But now it's more of a solemn beauty that you as the player can take in as you go. And obviously, the kingdom had a king. This king was both radiant and bright. See, the king was not without opposition. Before Hollow Nest, the area was ruled by another being just as bright and radiant, and the bugs that worshipped it ended up having to switch over to worship the king, which started out as a worm and ended up taking on the visage of the Pale King that we know. The Pale King exercised great power by giving minds, giving individuality to the bugs of Hollow Nest. Now, the power of the king only extended to the outreaches of Hollow Nest, so once you went beyond the kingdom's limits, you basically sacrificed your mind, you let it go. But ultimately, it proved not to be powerful enough because the kingdom of Hollow Nest would dream, and those dreams manifested from an infection, which overtook the kingdom little by little. All of the infected bugs would rave about a blazing light. Usually when you dream nailed them, that is when you were told about how they were infected. The infection gave the bugs a hive mind. It brought them together as one. It made them significantly stronger, but it also made them lose that individuality that they were given. And it was all due to the radiance. The Pale King could not allow the radiance to continue to spread via the infection. So it vowed to use different methods such as Soul, which was the strongest known ability that a bug can possess. It also attempted to use crystals from Crystal Peak, which can contain energy, and this most likely gave the king the idea to use the Void, which was the ultimate ability to contain the infection. The Void mixed with Soul allowed the Pale King to create vessels, and those vessels, which include our little prince here, are ultimately what led to the creation of the Hollow Knight. The chosen vessel, which is another prince of the kingdom essentially, was locked and bound with chains and sealed off thanks to the help of 3 dreamers. And these dreamers placed themselves into a dream in order to fortify the temple where the Hollow Knight was kept. The dreamers are known as Monomon, Lorian, and Hera. But since our little protagonist prince here wasn't chosen as the vessel, the dreamers are determined to obstruct any and all who try to get into the temple. And they do that by trapping any vessels or bugs in a dream world, the same as theirs. And now Little Prince is trapped in this dream world with no way out. And just like every story should have, in comes Fairy Godmother in the shape of a moth, kind of like the Radiance, but this moth was just a former worshipper of the Radiance. The little Hollow Prince is guided out of the dream world, and with Little Prince now free, it learns that its brother, the chosen vessel, the Hollow Knight, was sacrificed in order to elongate the kingdom's life, which obviously didn't work. Now the prince is tasked with removing the seals. In order to remove the seals, Prince would have to purge the dreamers one by one. With the temple open, the prince must then make a choice. If it decides to take on the mantle as king, it must then seek out the place of its birth and claim the power of the void into itself, which should be power enough to take out the radiance, which is the ultimate villain of this story once and for all. The other option is for the new king to then sacrifice itself for its brother and take the radiance into itself and become the new Hollow Knight. What's great about this particular fairy tale is that the protagonist is a blank canvas, and I for one am excited to paint.